the Bahamas as the 2025 Concacaf Beach Soccer Championship continues. And up next, it is the three-time champions from the United States taking on Trinidad and Tobago. This is play from Group B here on this opening day of round-robin competition. I'm Steve Schlanger. It's a terrific day for beach soccer. Temperature just north of 70 degrees and partly sunny skies. There is somewhat of a breeze here at the venue as you see the four teams in Group B headlined by the United States. And in addition to Trinidad and Tobago, you also have Panama and the Bahamas playing later on today here on this pitch. Just two groups, 8 total teams in this CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championship that also serves as the qualifier for the upcoming Beach Soccer World Cup that will be played this May in the Seychelles. Group A consisting of Mexico, El Salvador, Costa Rica, and Guatemala. But play for all teams getting underway here today in Nassau. And now one of the crown jewels, the United States, taking to the sand for the first time as we await the arrival of the teams led out by the officials to get things underway. The U.S. with some of the most decorated players in the history of this championship and players who have also garnered a lot of international experience and especially at the Beach Soccer World Cup. They have never lost to Trinidad and Tobago. 5 wins, no losses in 5 all-time meetings. So trying to stretch that to 6 straight wins. 8 teams altogether. And 2 of them will move on to the World Cup as this competition serves that dual purpose. I said it's not just a CONCACAF championship, but also a qualifier for the World Cup in the Seychelles. So essentially the 2 teams that get to the final here of this CONCACAF competition will also get a ticket to the Seychelles and will secure their spots in the upcoming World Cup. Things beginning with round-robin play with the 2 groups of 4, and then the 2 best teams in each group progress to the knockout stage, and then direct elimination semifinals coming up on Saturday, followed by a third-place match, and then the final on Sunday. So just about a week of competition, not even that, and now this game is on its way as the teams parade out onto the sand.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of the United States of America, followed by the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago.
And now just about set for a glance at the starting five for each club. First for the United States and their head coach, Ian Carey. Chris Toth, of course, the son of legendary soccer's goalkeeper Zoltan Toth. He is the captain, and in goal you see a host of substitutes, everyone healthy for this side that features a lot of experience, a lot of talent, a lot of depth. Some of the premier players from the U.S. in beach soccer over the last decade are here in the Bahamas this year. And there is Toth. He plays for the Tacoma Stars, and MASL Goalkeeper of the Year. And now the meeting of the captains with the officials at the center of the venue. Officials from Costa Rica and Guatemala. Jonathan Hernandez leading the way as he oversees the coin toss. And the captain, Jesse Bailey, the defender for Trinidad and Tobago, out greeting Toth and the officials. And now here is the rest of the Trinidad and Tobago lineup. Jabari Gray, along with Bailey, Riley, Espadales, and Kevin Woodley make up the starters for Chad Apo and his squad that has a couple injuries that they have been dealing with coming in, but just about everyone by and large available here today for this opening game. Trinidad and Tobago in the red, the U.S. in the white. The U.S. looking to match Mexico as the winningest nation all time in this competition. The U.S. coming in with 3 titles. Mexico has 4. El Salvador, the next on the list with 2, and Panama has 1. Jabari Gray in goal for Trinidad and Tobago as this game commences here in the Bahamas on a sunny, warm, and windy day.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
The United States against Trinidad and Tobago underway here. The first game for each side here in Group B on this opening day at the 2025 Concacaf Beach Soccer Championship. Also serving as the region's qualifying competition for the FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup in the Seychelles coming up in May. Out to grab it is Jabari Gray, and he will fire it the length of the pitch, headed out. And a couple of reminders in case you're somewhat new to beach soccer. Obviously, the sand, the size of the pitch, and the goals all different from what you would typically see in association soccer. And you have the pace of play. You also have the fact that we have 3 periods at 12 minutes apiece. The game goes by so quickly. And you also have the option to throw in, to kick in when the ball goes out of play. You have what we see right here. Instead of a traditional goal kick, the keeper will play it out with his hands. It's called a clearance. So there are several differences, and we'll get into more of those as play continues here in this match between the U.S. and Trinidad and Tobago. And there was a chance for Nicolas Perea, who couldn't get his body aligned, trying to fire it on goal. First real good opportunity for the U.S., but that's also one of the difficulties and the challenges of beach soccer, is to be able to move with a fluidity and not stumble around on the sand, which makes it more difficult to get your traction, to get your pace, to get a rhythm. And then the ball is bouncing and moving in unexpected ways as well, so you can't always rely on a true bounce. So what otherwise might feel or seem like a play that should be easily made, even if a player is wide open, it doesn't always turn out that way, and it looks like it's kind of awkward, but that's just the nature of beach soccer, and you see it right there with the player Jordan Riley stumbling as he goes for the long ball. That is part and parcel of this sport. Now the U.S. trying a quick give and go here. And bodies colliding, that'll draw a whistle. And for the U.S., that's Alessandro Canale involved there, and Woodley for Trinidad. Canale, the youngest player last year at the beach soccer championship. Looks like each got a piece of the head of the other player. So he will come out. And substitutions also very fluid, unlike traditional soccer. So you'll see players coming in and out regularly here without formal stoppages in play. Now a free kick for Trinidad, and this is another distinction. You have to have a clear lane from the shot to the goal. That's why players are clearing out. That's why there's no wall here. And he fires it wide as it bounces past the keeper toe. Kevin Woodley, one of the veterans on this Trinidad side. He has the most experience of any of the players on this roster for this club that is the underdog coming in. They have never won this championship. The U.S. showing good technical skill. Bailey, the captain, plays it up the wing. Shot blocked and out of play. Again, that is Woodley taking the initiative, and on the offensive side for Trinidad, he is able to get the ball up the flank. Good work defensively, though, by Chavez of the U.S., and off a quick corner. And the player Woodley is down now, but the U.S. trying to take advantage as they played on after the clearance. And even though Woodley was down and calling for some service, and he's still down, the referee allowed play to continue and move on. And the U.S. created a good chance, but Woodley still says he's going to need some support here, pointing to his right arm, so the trainer will come out. So play stop with just inside of 9 minutes left to go in this first period. Andres Navas, who started on the bench, coming in, and now Woodley gets right up after the trainer makes his way out there. He's calling for that assistance even before he hit the sand, so you never know. He's going to come out, and Aquinola Gregory will take his place. Trinidad will demonstrate proper sportsmanship, and then we'll just play it back to the U.S., which will start from their back end. Volleyed across. Carvalho just in off the bench, tries the bicycle kick. You'll see a lot of those in beach soccer. Now the U.S. intercepting and almost scoring the first goal. It was deflected out. That was good defense by Connor Resende, who then took the shot that just missed wide, but there was deflection, so he'll move over, take a quick corner here. Plays it through. Trinidad intercepts. Dangerous play from out of the back. Now Silvera for the U.S. here. Back to Zoth. Gabriel Silvera back to his keeper once more. Still looking for the first goal of this match. And now the one-timer. Never made it through on goal, blocked defensively. And that'll be a foul against the U.S., and it's called on Connor Resende. Slow to get up here. Enola Gregory, who came in replacing Kevin Woodley. That left arm just kind of shoved him down. So, a free kick for Trinidad. And again, there will be a clear lane to Toth in goal. So if you're referencing and comping outdoor soccer, it would almost be like a long penalty. But the kick has to be taken by the player who was fouled. That's one big distinction here. You can't let your best free kick taker deliver the service. He fires it in, and Toth makes the stop. Probably his best so far this match. Quick outlet, and the U.S. will start once again. Here's Cody Valcarcel back in his own end. Now for Carvalho. Carvalho again to Valcarcel. They couldn't get there. He gets knocked out. Jabari Gray tries to go long, and now a huge opportunity for Trinidad here. Toth, though, comes out, cuts down the angle, and makes the save on Kevin Williams. Corner kick for Trinidad. Blocked out by the U.S. Shot high and wide by Kevin Woodley, who after going down a little while ago is back in. Now Carvalho. Oh, and he's hammered. That's going to be a foul. Now Jordan Riley came up and really hit him hard. And so the U.S. with their first set piece here of this game. I mean, that's a card. That should definitely be a card there, but it doesn't look like one was issued. So the U.S. with an opportunity here. Ricardo Carvalho. Long distance, but an opportunity to give the U.S. the first lead of the match. Bouncing shot, heads well wide. And Gray wasting no time. Going long for Woodley, shot to the far post. Oh, that was the best chance of the match so far. Riley couldn't get his body right in order to get solid contact on that ball, but there was an opening at that back post. Good idea, right combination, but just couldn't get the execution nailed down. And there's the bicycle kick, and what an opening goal! You will very rarely see a better one than that. Canele with a terrific strike to put the U.S. on the board first. The second all-time leading scorer for the U.S. in this sport. Just now 3 caps shy of 100 for his career. A veteran from the Tacoma Stars and the opening goal scorer here today for the U.S. as they take the 1-0 lead over Trinidad and Tobago. Just over halfway through this opening period. And there's a volley. It goes wide, so a clearance opportunity coming up here for the U.S. The U.S. trying to build on their lead. Alessandro Canali, such an interesting story. He is not just a soccer player, not just a member of this beach national team for the U.S., but actor, an artist, a skateboarder. He comes from Venice Beach, California, and people will say that sometimes he's riding the skateboard down the boardwalk, juggling a soccer ball at the same time. So he can play the keepy-uppy game while riding a skateboard. It is certainly not out of the question. Has been on Malcom in the Middle as an actor, and he is a well-rounded and very interesting character altogether. There he is there. Goal score here. The U.S. now with a corner. Coming up on the final 4 minutes of this first period. It's be Nicholas Pereira. Now I think some indecision here on the part of the referee or part of the U.S. with the interpretation of that call there. This is going to be a free kick. Canali on the foul for the U.S. So free kick here for Kevin Williams of Trinidad. A strange sequence a little while ago. The U.S. thought they had a corner or what, but in the end, didn't amount to much. So now Williams an opportunity as Trinidad and Tobago go in search of an equalizer here. Oh, and the bouncing ball off the underside of the bar. That's one of the vagaries of the beach sports. Sometimes what could seem like a harmless ball that the keeper has a good visual of all the way. It takes that awkward hop right in front and can skip right over him. Kind of like a shortstop in baseball when the ball takes a bad hop on a tough field. In the sand like that, sometimes you can get those awkward bounces. Also kind of like an onside kick in American football, where the ball bounces and you just don't know what to expect sometimes when it takes a hop right in front of a player. So that's a couple of good chances Trinidad has had here. One manufactured and one with the lucky bounce on a free kick, but they're still in search of their first goal. 3 minutes to go, opening period, trailing 1-0. Bad bounce as it rolls out past Antonio Chavez. Chavez, who was born in Colombia, but raised in the U.S., now 32 years of age, has played for the United Soccer League in Indianapolis, also played his college soccer at Syracuse, one of the starters for the U.S. here today. And there's a save by Toth on the rebound. Trinidad is able to tie it. And the goal coming from the substitute, Akinola Gregory, who levels this match at 1 with just over 2 minutes remaining here in the first. Gregory coming off the bench and getting the goal that brings Trinidad back even here in this match. Gregory was working against Chavez too, who had him from behind, but still was able to get away. Using his strength here and agility to stay on his feet. That was well done to get the goal. So one apiece here. And it's unable to be kept alive by Jordan Riley.
seconds left in his first third. So there's a 3-minute gap before the break. We have a special treat for you during the break. Great save for
Shots on the rebound. It's fired wide.
the score is still tied, USA 1, Trinidad and
US
Tobago 1.
Jabari Gray gives it a run. Back to Crystal. Keeper distributes. Coming up in the final half minute of this first period. And the bicycle kick is fired high.
All right, we have just over 20 seconds.
Chased down by Carvalho. Now throw in. You often see that the bicycle kick is pretty evident. The defender getting in the way to block it like that. Now the U.S. with a chance in the final seconds, and Gray makes the stop to bring us to the end of this opening period. So the opening goal belonging to the U.S., Alessandro Canella gets the tally, answered by Gregory of Trinidad and Tobago. And after one period, the U.S. and Trinidad tied at 1 here in their opening game in Group B at the Concacaf Beach Soccer Championship from the Bahamas.
1 Trinidad and Tobago 1. And for your viewing pleasure, we have under by at this point in time, the answers. Let's give a big round of applause, please.
I'll show you some of the highlights from this opening period.
Number 3. That's the people in the crowd to get involved. Thank you.
So we are set to go here for period number 2 in a 1-1 game. Group B, day 1 of the Concacaf Beach Soccer Championship. And the U.S. getting things started. The U.S., the 3-time champions of this event, looking to secure another title that would bring them even with Mexico at the top of the ledger. Mexico currently the all-time winningest nation with 4 championships. But another big target is qualification for the World Cup in May. And that will be earned by finishing in the top 2 places. So the top 2 teams that get to the final will also get a spot in the World Cup from this CONCACAF region. You don't have to win this event. Just get to the championship game, and you're going to the World Cup. Christophe in goal, coming well out here. Terrific story. A guy who has been an indoor soccer goalkeeper of the year. Of course, the son of the legendary Soccer's goalkeeper, Zoltan Toth. The reason he's a goalkeeper now is because he's gone through some serious heart conditions, had to overcome 2 separate substantial heart surgeries, and doctors told him that he couldn't continue to play in the field. 8 different doctors said that he had to give up playing in the field, but there were a few other doctors that said he could continue playing the sport, but had to switch to something like being a keeper, which has led him down his current path. Oh, that's a bad bounce, and the U.S. able to take it away, and now a chance for a breakaway, but they just can't get the ball moving quick enough. Nalek down the flank. Good turn from Ecole. Now Chavez, and a save by Gray, who came out and really cut down the angle, made himself big right in front of Ecole there. Another bicycle kick, that time it's hammered wide by the man who scored in a similar fashion back in the first half of play, or the first period, I should say. And now Jabari Gray, the keeper for Trinidad, taking a moment. Trinidad has never won this competition. Chavez taken down. That's a hard challenge. Gregory, the goal scorer, coming in hard. So the free kick for Chavez. Leading an area there. Set the ball right on top of the small mound that he makes in the sand, but trying to clear the sand away from that so it doesn't impede the ball after he makes contact with it. Trying to give the U.S. the lead for the second time. And Gray with the save. Long throw. And it bounces right by its intended target, Jordan Riley. And it's going to be a corner for the U.S. a one-timer is hit high and over the bar by Silvera. Now Resende. Gonna have to go all the way back. As you can see, this is a sport where it's easier to play through the air than it is on the ground. Trying to pass in a traditional fashion along the sand is just too difficult, too many bounces, unpredictability. So players often just like this will either flick it up into the air or flick it up to themselves and then try to volley it forward or take a shot just like that, as Jabari Gray, the keeper, did. Unlike traditional outdoor soccer, this is a sport played much more through the air than it is on the ground. Deflecting out for U.S. possession. Now Resende deflected out here for a corner kick. Plays it all the way across to Silvera. He's taken down, and a foul is called on Jordan Riley. Now Riley had to know that was coming. So this is going to be a huge opportunity for the U.S. Yeah, it's no doubt. Jordan Riley holds his hands up, but a clear foul. And so that is going to create this goal-scoring opportunity for Gabriel Silvera on the penalty. Because of where it happened on the pitch, he's able to bring it in. And this is a penalty. It's not like a free kick that we've seen before where it's further beyond that yellow flag because it happened on the other side in the final third here. This is more like a traditional penalty shot. And to reclaim the lead for the U.S. And well done. He had the keeper going the wrong way. Silvera gets the tally, and the U.S. is back in front by a 2-1 score. Keeper was moving even before he made contact, so easy chance. Well taken. So just about midway through this match. Inside of 6.5 minutes left to go, second period. U.S. defending has been pretty robust here. Long throw over the top of everyone. Run down, though, by Kareem Perry. He's going to try the long bicycle and low percentage effort there. Maybe not the most well-advised shot at that point in time. And some miscommunication there between the U.S. defender and keeper. And now a good chance for the U.S. here, and Carvalho trickles it wide, and was it deflected? No, he thought it was a corner, but it'll be a clearance for Gray here. He's going to go long. Gray out to the middle of the pitch. That's going to be headed but not out. Volleyed out to midfield. Alveston for the U.S. plays it wide. Now a bouncing ball, and Resende on the turn. I should say Canale on the turn. Couldn't get a clean shot away. Trinidad coming back, and the low percentage shot again. That time from Bailey from distance. Never really had much of a chance. Headed right onto the keeper, Gray. Trinidad looking for a source of more consistent offense and maybe even a longer spell of possession. They haven't been able to hang on to the ball for any length of time here. And some very low percentage plays like that, long shots, difficult angles. The U.S. better in possession here, at least creating legitimate opportunities, hanging on to the ball, working it, showing a more distinct pattern of play. And a bicycle kick is stopped by Gray. Good effort by Tanner Ecole on the other end. It's off the outside of the post and cleared away. Oh, Trinidad trying to take advantage of the U.S. Numerically, they had numbers up the pitch, and they went long, tried to catch them off guard, and it almost snuck in. It'll be a free kick for the U.S. Here's the chance for Trinidad off the save. And that one deflected off the chest of Chavez and almost into his own goal. So a free kick, but the length of the field for the U.S. to deal with. Volley a bit too strong. As possession turns over here. 2 minutes to go, second period. U.S. able to intercept out at midfield. Eko flips it ahead, and eventually it rolls out and goes over to Trinidad. Nicholas Perea was on the ball for the U.S. Perea. Now it comes into a Canellia shot. And a save right on by Gray. U.S. pressing hard. Gray has to just punch it away. U.S. able to apply some good pressure up the field. Leading 2-1. Opening goal from Canelli back in the first period, and Silvera on the penalty here in the second. Gregory has the only goal for Trinidad as Toth makes the save. Long bicycle kick flicked on, and Gray makes the stop. Oh, that would have been a clever, crafty, and sensational goal for the U.S. had they been able to pull that one off. Bicycle kick over the top of everybody and out over to the U.S. Gray has made some terrific stops here, especially in this second period, which now has under a minute left to play. Started with bicycle and then Perea, the flick. Here is the Captain Bailey. U.S. swarming defensively to deny any shot opportunities. Bailey here against Eckel in the final seconds, and Gray comes out to dive on it. And that's going to take us to the end of the period. 2 periods in the rear view, 1 left to go. The U.S. with the goal in that period from the spot, Silvera the tally. And the U.S. will take a 1-goal lead into the third and final period here in the Bahamas. I'll look back at some of the highlights from that second period, and Gray was probably the So one final period left to go. Trinidad trying to rally, and the U.S. trying to hang on for what would be their 6th all-time win over this nation of Trinidad and Tobago. Trying to remain perfect. They have never lost to this nation. And most of their wins coming in this very championship in the group stage, just like this. It's day one, match one for both of these teams in Group B at this Concacaf Beach Soccer Championship. Round robin play through the group phase, and then the top 2 teams from each group go straight into the semifinal round, single elimination. And that plus the final will come up this weekend from here in Nassau. The 2 teams that make it to the final will qualify for the Beach Soccer World Cup this May in the Seychelles Islands. Looks like the keeper is down here. Yeah, Jabari Gray for Trinidad for the 2nd time in this game. Another collision with Resende there, and Resende kind of getting him with that left hand. Should have been a foul. Maybe it is. Yep, a direct free kick. Probably could have added a card to that as well. So Gray, keeper against keeper here. Bouncing ball right up to the head level of Toth, and turns out to be a relatively easy save because of the bounce. It belongs to the U.S. Interesting, when it goes out in beach soccer, you can throw in, you can elect to kick it in, but because of the nature of how the sport is played and that it's easier through the air, most teams will elect to throw it in because you're playing through the air anyway, so you might as well just play it with your hands the way you would in traditional outdoor soccer. And this competition starting way back in 2006. Again, the U.S. 3-time winners. Mexico has 4 titles. The U.S., the defending champions here. They won their 3rd title in the most recent event back in 2023. Was also here at this Malcom Beach Park in Nassau. Chance for the U.S. here, but the ball gets stuck in the sand. And now trying to get numbers forward, but they couldn't get it organized quickly enough. And it's intercepted by Trinidad. And they will counter. But not much. Here comes the U.S. back with it. One-touch pass, and Gray will dive on it for Trinidad. And Resende gets hit by Gray. Those 2 bodies come together. And the right leg gets bent as Gray rolls over him. When it comes to the Concacaf rankings coming into this event, you have the U.S. ranked number 1, Mexico 2, El Salvador 3, then Panama 4, the Bahamas 5, Costa Rica 6, Guatemala 7, and Trinidad and Tobago ranked 8th in Concacaf. Free kick here for Gray. Again, keeper against keeper. Long shot and well wide. So difficult from that far back to have a legitimate chance at scoring. That'll go out and over to Trinidad. While this competition has been going on since 2006, the first professional beach soccer competition at all in this part of the world was held back in 1993 on Miami Beach. Teams from the U.S., Brazil, Argentina, and Italy taking part. The sport itself really got its start in Brazil, in the areas around Rio de Janeiro. The first official tournament in South America was held back in 1950. And now the U.S. with a chance in front, and Eckel misses as he fires it over the bar. The U.S. intercepting here. And looking for a little insurance, leading by 1 coming into this third period. And trying for the 2-goal lead. Could almost salt it away, given the way things have developed. 2 goals in the first period, 1 in the second. No scoring so far here in the third. Trinidad able to intercept. Now Canale lays it off, and a shot is blocked in. That'll go out for a U.S. corner. Andres Navas. Crafty ball work. Serves it in quickly, and now Chavez. Falls over the top of Gray. No foul, no whistle. Bicycle kick blocked, and out for a U.S. possession here. Throw in for the defending champions. Headed away, but the U.S. will get the possession right back as the shot is fired wide. Eckel from his defensive position. Now Trinidad trying to get ahead and counter quickly, but it will go out and over to the U.S. here. Now Silveira, who has what stands to be the game-winning goal from the penalty spot in the second period. Comes all the way through. Silveira knocks it down. Tries to get a handle on it here. Bicycle kick in. Well over the top of the bar. Corner kick, and that's going to be headed away by Woodley, and the U.S. will run it down. Halfway through the final period. Carvalho back to his keeper, Toth. U.S. content to work on the clock here, making Trinidad come out and play them defensively. The U.S. has the lead, so no real need to force the issue. They'll get a free kick here. As Kevin Woodley comes out, and he fouls Tanner Eckel here, and allowing the U.S. a free kick. So Eckel set the fire. Now Trinidad, see if they can hang on to the ball a little bit longer. They've been trying to go for those long balls and quick strikes from keeper to forward. And in doing so, they haven't created many authentic and really genuine goal-scoring chances, but what they have done is concede possession to the U.S., and this U.S. squad has not been in any hurry here. Just chewing on the clock here and milking this one-goal lead. Under 5 minutes left to go in the game. And it'll be headed just over. And bounces in on Toth, who makes the stop. Good fight for it, Zende. Hard challenge, but a clean one, and he emerges with it. Gets it out for Chavez. The USA Beach Player of the Year a season ago, native of Oceanside, California. So many of these U.S. players from the state of California. Oh, and there's a steal by Trinidad here. A terrific opportunity, and they level it. They tie the score here with under 4 left to go in the game. It's Gregory with the brace. His second of the match. He's got both tallies for Trinidad, and it's 2-2 here in the Bahamas. Oh, a bad giveaway by the U.S., leading to the goal from Gregory. Now, Canale thought there was going to be a foul there. Had to take it away. It was right underneath him. Big mistake. And Toth came out. And Gregory gets his second of the match. Well, if it should end in a tie, we go to 3 minutes of golden goal overtime and then penalties after that, if necessary. First goal of this final period. Will somebody get the winner in regulation? Now Riley is down now for Trinidad, but we play on. The U.S. has a numerical advantage for the moment. And Gray comes all the way out, scampers to cover that. It's going to be a corner for the U.S. Player down, it's Woodley for the second time in this match. And the header off the post for the U.S. So their best chance here in this period. And it's going to be another, looks like a throw-in for the U.S. Carvalho will go over. He's going to kick it in here. Lobs it towards the back post, another header, and this one is just over the top of the bar. Coming down to the final 2 minutes. Oh, player injured for Trinidad, so they just send it out of play. the bench and has to be frustrated. His defensive lapse led to the tying goal here for Trinidad. With under 4 minutes remaining. The U.S. was on their way to a win in regulation. He does have the first U.S. goal of the day on a terrific bicycle kick back in the opening period. Gabriel Silveira has the other strike from the penalty spot for the U.S., while Akinola Gregory has both goals for Trinidad. Oh, Gray well out of his goal here. The possession is for the U.S. here. They're going to have a throw-in. Back to Toth. Dangerous with Riley right in front of him here. And a giveaway by the U.S. Takes an unfavorable bounce, though, for Trinidad. And a throw-in for the Americans with 1:20 left to go. And the U.S. is able to intercept there with the keeper out. But can they get something organized? Long bicycle kick, blocked at the defense. Throw in for the U.S. No, it'll be for Trinidad here. Under a minute remaining in regulation. 2-2 score. 2 goals in the first period, 1 in the second, and another in the third. Silveira back to his keeper Toth with half a minute remaining now. Maybe one more chance here. Silveira trying to get a clean lane. He's gonna get it back here. Now Silveira gives it away, and the bouncing ball goes wide, and that's gonna do it. We're going to go to overtime here in the Bahamas.
At the end of the full time, we have USA 2, Trinidad and Tobago 2, and we now have a 3 extra time.
So at full time, 2 apiece here in Nassau. So 3 minutes of golden goal overtime coming up next. Look back at the goals so far. That was Canale, the opener for the U.S. The bicycle kick made it 1-0 in the opening period. Trinidad would answer here later on in the period. Off the save, Gregory gets what would be his first of 2 goals in this game. And from the penalty spot, Silveira gives the U.S. their second lead, and then Canale here defensively with a mistake and allows Gregory to get the brace in his second goal of the day to tie it at 2 and send us to overtime. So, in this first round robin match in Group B. We have to go the extra distance. 2-2 after 3 periods of regulation time. Trinidad has never led. They should score here. The only time they will have had the lead is at the end of the game with a win. It is a golden goal overtime. Into penalties if no one scores. The U.S. will reset. And it's taken away by Trinidad. And a long shot, saved by Toth. That's a good stop on Kevin Williams. Now Silvera, who has the second of the 2 goals for the U.S., flicking it ahead. Bicycle kick will Karam out for a corner kick. Eckel will take it for the U.S. Player taken down, no whistle. Chavez, the bicycle, and another corner coming up. Nicholas Perea wanted the call. It was tough to come by in overtime. And that'll be headed out for a U.S. throw-in. 1 minute left to go. And a shot that hits the side netting. Antonio Chavez on the bicycle kick. Can Trinidad author an opportunity here in overtime? The U.S. has controlled possession throughout this match. They have dominated in that category. But we are tied at 2 here in the final half minute of overtime. It's headed out for a corner kick. Chavez is going to take it here. Trying to go quickly. 20 seconds left. Lob back post and headed wide. Maybe one more chance. Trinidad playing along, but only 1 red shirt in the final third. This is going to be a chance here. Toth comes out, though, and makes the save. He had to get there, and he did as time expires. So, penalties on the way here in the Bahamas. Looks like we'll have, well, let's see. Are they offering up this free kick here before the end of the overtime period? I believe they're saying this happened before time expired. So yeah, 1 second on the clock. Toth, the long shot, and that'll go out as time does now expire. And now we are set for penalties. Now the U.S. in a spot they typically don't find themselves in. Eating penalties here in the group phase of a competition like this. 3-time champions, defending champions. First game of group play here. And Trinidad and Tobago coming from behind on 2 occasions to tie the score. And now taking it all the way down to penalties as they have to go the distance. we get things underway in the penalty shootout. So first up for the U.S., Andres Navas to take the opening shot against the keeper, Jabari Gray. And he just hammers it home. The best way to do it, pick a spot and thump it with authority like that. So Navas strikes first for the U.S. Now for Trinidad, Kevin Williams to level things. And Toth makes the save. Guessing right and giving the U.S. the early advantage. Now Silvera, who got the second goal for the U.S. right from here, this very penalty spot that he scored twice now from that position. Perfectly placed. Nothing that Jabari Gray could do in goal. So that's 2 goals from the exact same spot in this game for Gabriel Silvera. And the U.S. has scored in the first 2 attempts. Now, Jordan Riley goes quick and slips it just past Toth, who guessed correctly, but I don't know. We couldn't tell if he was actually ready for that as Riley shot quickly. Toth did dive in the right direction, but just got a hand on it. Now for the U.S., Nicholas Perea. That's 3 in a row. Trinidad trying to hang in. And Toth makes another save. Same direction on Anderson Peters. And that's 2 misses for Trinidad. So now, with a goal here by the U.S., it is over. And if the U.S. scores with this next shot, they win their opening game. And it's Alessandro Canale who scored the opener in the first period for the United States. And this for the victory. So the U.S. closes out Trinidad. 4 goals from 4 shots in the penalty session. And the U.S. wins their first game here in Group B at the Concacaf Beach Soccer Championship. They had to work for it, led on 2 different occasions in regulation, but it wound up as a tie at full time. No scoring through the overtime period, but a clean and successful penalty session. And the U.S. gets the victory here in Group B on day 1 of the 2025 Concacaf Beach Soccer Championship. All right, let's take you back through the highlights of this game here at Nassau. Some early chances for Trinidad that they failed to convert on. Score still 0-0 at this point when Canale with the overhead volley, the bicycle kick to open the scoring in the first period to give the U.S. the 1-0 lead. And then a shot hits the underside of the bar off a free kick. Almost level for Trinidad. They would eventually tie it in the opening period. After the rebound here, it's Gregory. Scampers to get to the loose ball. And made it 1-1 with this effort. And would stay that way going into the second period. U.S. creating some opportunities here. Gray was terrific in goal. He was sensational in the second period especially, but then the foul here inside that area that allowed for the penalty, and then Silveira calmly places it into the corner to give the U.S. the 2-1 lead. And the U.S. was looking for the dagger and the multi-goal advantage. Couldn't find it, even with this clever flick here. So they took a 2-1 lead into the final period. But then this mistake by Canale, defensively conceding possession, allowing Gregory to get the goal that tied it with under 4 minutes left. The second of the match for Gregory. He accounted for both of the goals in regulation time. So the brace sent us to overtime. And the U.S. could not find the winner. Eventually, it had to be settled in penalties. And it would be Trinidad missing on 2. The U.S. scored on all 4 of theirs. And the U.S. winning it in penalties. After a 2-2 tie through regulation, they win it in penalties, and they win their opening game of Group B here at the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championship. The U.S. taking all 3 points, with Panama and the Bahamas, the host nation, coming up next from here in Nassau.